So you're thinking about moving to Issaquah, Washington. Well, stick around. This is going to be a super in-depth video all about Issaquah. First thing we're going to do is hop in my computer, get on the map feature so we can talk to you about where Issaquah is located in relation to other cities like Seattle, Bellevue, or the mountains. Then we're going to kind of zoom in on Issaquah, talk about what kind of attractions and things to do there are in Issaquah, and show you the locations on the map. Then we're going to go ahead and go through our top few neighborhoods in the Issaquah area on the map video to show you kind of where it's located, what's surrounding it, and then right after that, for each neighborhood, we're going to also take you in the car, vlog style, and actually show you the neighborhood, what it looks like on the camera. So if you're looking to learn more about Issaquah, this is definitely the video for you. Stick around till the end to find out my favorite neighborhood, and we're gonna get after it right now. All right, everybody, here we are. We are on the computer right now, so I'm going to do a screen share here. There we are. Okay, so we're hopping into Issaquah in the map feature here. So I just typed in Issaquah in the Google feature. I was noticing here before I started to record that it actually, the map is not quite correct. Issaquah actually is going to go all the way down to Mirrormont, this area, and then this is May Valley Road right here. So I'll draw it in a second to give you a better idea, but I don't know why Google does it this way. Maybe it's old. They also, Issaquah takes a little bit of Klahani, but other than that, it's pretty accurate. But let me zoom out here. The first part of the video, I want to show you guys what's, where it's in relation to everything else. So let's get the draw out so we can kind of see where it's at a little bit better. This will be a rough drawing, of course. Here's where Issaquah is located in relation to everything else. We got Seattle, obviously, right here, Bellevue here. Those are going to be your two main commuter, not commuter towns. Issaquah is a commuter town. Those are the places where most people work. Issaquah does have a few big industries. Costco, corporate is there, but it's not like a skyscraper, city type area like Bellevue and Seattle, where a lot of the working is. There's also a lot of jobs in Redmond. Microsoft is right here. This is where most people are working at. Sometimes Renton, kind of depends where. But Issaquah, this is one of the reasons why it's such a great spot to live. In my pros and cons video, location is definitely one of the main ones. This is definitely considered a suburb, so it's going to have a more neighborhood feel, but it's really not that far out to getting into the actual cities. And Bellevue is taking over Seattle for as far as, workforce and stuff. So a lot of people are only going to Bellevue. Issaquah is right next to it. It's literally the one that's touching it. So depending on where you're at, if you're on the border, you could be there in a minute. But downtown Issaquah, like kind of where the freeways start there, which is going to be I-90, it can get to Bellevue in 10 minutes, like the first exit here, the 405 exit. This is basically your shot there. So call that 8 minutes. It's really, really fast. So depending on if you're kind of in the outskirts of Issaquah or right downtown, very quick drive to Bellevue. If you keep going to Seattle, it's probably just another 10 more minutes. This is I-90, this main road here. So if you go I-90, this is going to take you this is basically Seattle, downtown proper, T-Mobile Field, Seahawks play there, all that stuff, the water, Pike Place Market, that's all going to be right here off the I-90 there. Pretty close in relation to that. We got Tacoma is a little bit farther down here. Here's the airport, by the way. So SeaTac, that's going to have the SeaTac airport. There's another big mall in Tukwila. And then down here below Federal Way is going to be Tacoma. So the port of Tacoma is another big city. Way up north here is going to be Everett. It's actually out of the frame. And then what else is around here is going to be Snoqualmie Pass. This is pretty much, unless you're going to Eastern Washington or, hours and hours away, this is kind of like where Issaquah is located in relation to pretty much most things that you're going to do if you're not doing a serious road trip. So you're going to take I-90 over to get to Snoqualmie Pass. This is probably only 35 to 40 minutes, probably 40, sometimes 45 to Snoqualmie Pass. So that is our mountain. So wintertime, they got the ski lifts. So you're snowboarding and skiing. They also have inner tubes. So super cool spot there. It's nice to be so close to a mountain because it's a good mountain for starters, but you don't have to drive super far to Crystal or Stevens Pass, maybe a little bit better mountains, but this one's only, like I said, 40 minutes away. So it's a really great location. Call it a half hour to Seattle, 15 minutes to Bellevue, could be even 10, and could be 20, 25 to Seattle. So that's kind of our main location in relation to everything else. Oh, and the airport, SeaTac is probably about a half hour away as well from Issaquah. So that's kind of the main things that are around the area. We got Lake Sammamish right here. This is the Puget Sound. This is, Lake Washington. Puget Sound over here. So let's zoom in now. We won't take too long on that part of the video, and we'll hop into actual Issaquah. So what is going on in Issaquah? So I want to start with doing some attractions, what's going on in the area. Then we'll hit a few schools, then get right to the neighborhood. So hopefully we'll move this video along pretty quickly. So first thing I want to point out in Issaquah, Lake Sammamish State Park. So I guess it's not Issaquah, right? It's Lake Sammamish Park. They own it, but Obviously, it's surrounded by Issaquah. So if you're in Issaquah, this is going to be your closest point of contact for the boat launch. Lake Sammamish is absolutely beautiful. We'll show you some footage right now of Lake Sammamish and Lake Sammamish State Park, but it is just an amazing area. Lots of, beachfront, and it's actually sand. So they have paddleboard rentals, canoes, stuff like that you can take out on a hot summer day. It is super busy there, but it's an awesome spot. If you're a boating type person, Lake Sammamish is definitely the best one. I mean, Lake Washington's great too, but you cannot go wrong putting a boat on Lake Sammamish, getting your wakeboarding in and all that kind of stuff. So Lake Sammamish is one of the highlights, I would say. And then we have the Issaquah Highlands here, which we'll go through a neighborhood review with them too. But Issaquah Highlands is cool because they have, even though it's really just a big neighborhood, they have their own shopping center right here too. So, and really it's good for entertainment too. It's got movie theaters of its own. It's got lots of really good restaurants, dining options, and then shopping too. So your Safeway, stuff like that. So Issaquah Highlands is a good spot. Tibbetts Park, this is where I played some baseball growing up. So I'm from the Issaquah Sammamish area. We grew up right up here. And so Tibbetts Park has got 4 baseball fields, a really big park, playground, pretty cool spot over there. We got Cougar Mountain Zoo. Let me actually click on this one. Let's get rid of this thing again. Cougar Mountain Zoo. Might show some pictures of it. There we go. Look at that guy. So this is pretty cool. So typically, I mean, in most areas that I've ever been to, I'm born and raised in this area, but done some traveling. I feel like most of the good zoos or aquariums are usually in the big city. And Seattle does have an awesome zoo, Point Defiant Zoo. They also have these Seattle aquariums, so those are awesome. But to be able to have a zoo right here is super awesome. We actually go there pretty often because it's not that expensive and it's a pretty good zoo and it's just so close. Like I don't want to drive to Seattle most of the time. So Cougar Mountain Zoo, really awesome. As you can see with the description, it's got big cats, exotic birds. Okay, and then we got Duthie Hill. So Duthie Hill is going to be down this Issaquah Fall City Road. So like I said, this map is not correct. Issaquah border actually has a little bit of Klahani right here. Let me get this feature out again. So it does take a little bit of Klahani, like the Klahani QFC right here is actually an Issaquah address. So anyway, Duthie Hill Mountain Park. This place is super awesome. If you are an avid biker, not like a road biker, this is like dirt. So they have tons of awesome trails. So you can do more long distance type stuff or just really difficult terrain, downhill mountain biking is super fun. They also have the jumps and everything. So we'll get some footage to show you this place, but Duthie Hill is super cool. And then I guess we'll go a little bit outside of Issaquah. We got Aldera, we got Plateau Club for golf courses. There is no actual golf course in the city of Issaquah, technically. But like I said, Aldera, Plateau Club's up here. The very famous Sahali is in Sammamish right above us. I guess if I zoom in, it'll probably tell me. Yep, there we go. Sahali Country Club. So they played maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, the KPMG, which is a major for the women's LPGA tour. So that was super cool. I actually went to it. That was awesome. They hosted a PGA event somewhere like in the 90s, long time ago. I guess honestly, the course is probably too short now to host a PGA event, but Sahali Country Club, it's a private club, awesome place. If you're a golfer, you've probably actually heard of it before. So that's super close too, but you do got to be a member or know someone who's a member to play there. Okay, so that does it for the attractions. There's lots more stuff. Oh, you know what? One more. This is just the what I call Old Town. So Old Town Issaquah. So you can see it says Old Town right here. So this is like the little city area where there's the houses that are right in downtown Old Town Issaquah. So Old Town, it goes on Front Street. Front Street has all these really cool, a lot of them are pretty older buildings. So it's just got a cool character to it. They got the Dairy Gold, which is the milk products, which has been around for, I think like 1905 or something. I don't quote me on that one, but it's been around forever. They do all the producing of the milk right here. So that's super cool. They have one of the old like 1900s gas stations and they kept it like a relic. So it looks just the same as it was back then. Super cool. The houses are super cool and cute. And then it's right next to Issaquah High School, Issaquah Middle School. So just a really great spot. There's a few good restaurants here. My favorite restaurant actually of all time is Jack's, which is right here off. So actually, I guess before we get in the neighborhoods, we'll do schools and then I guess shopping centers. So Old Town is one. So on Front Street here, from probably about there to here is where you're going to have all your stuff, all your restaurants. And so this is mostly restaurants or like retail stores. If we zoom in, we'll probably see a few. Here's Jack's Grill. Issaquah Library is a good one, not for food, but for books. Oh, the Village Theater. That's a pretty unique one. That's been around a super long time too. So they have plays, musicals, stuff like that. Oh, you know what? My favorite one. So Triple X. Where is Triple X? It's off. So this is one of the only locations left. There's probably a few left, but there used to be these things nationwide. This is one of those like 50s, roadhouse barbecue areas, not barbecue, but burgers and milkshakes. And so Triple X is a super cool spot. It's like an attraction. People actually come here from all over the world to visit Triple X, which is, like I said, burgers, root beer, milkshakes, stuff like that. And so it's got the 50s feel, all of the decorations in there. It looks just like it's from the 50s. The cool part about here too is that they do car shows all the time. So if you're like I said, avid for old style cars, they do a show there and they have you can't see it in this picture here, I guess, but big, huge parking lot. And so every so often, I probably see it like a few times a year. I'm not really sure the schedules. I don't go there for it, but they'll have the parking lot full of all these like just vintage cars, all these people that are super into it, and then serving up their root beer and, burgers and stuff. They have something called the Triple X Burger, which is like 3 patties, and it's actually a bun like the size of your head. So that thing's massive. You can get a picture taken and get on the wall if you can eat it. Okay, so we got schools. Issaquah, by the way, is one of the best school districts around. There's, it's hard to compete with the Bellevue School District, Lake Washington. They're all really good school districts. Issaquah is right up there with them. I'll put a little stat up here showing you guys the Issaquah School District, but super good school district. A lot of people that come to this area that are looking to be in the suburbs outside of Seattle. Seattle schools aren't quite as good. They're going to be coming here. They're going to go to Issaquah, Sammamish. If they want to go to the east side, they'll go to North Bend, Snoqualmie. But all of these are going to be really good school districts. So, and that's honestly why the real estate's so expensive. So Issaquah High School is right down here, just past Front Street. There it is. You can see it's updated. They did a remodel. It didn't look like this when I was going to school, but they probably did the remodel shortly after I left. So it's been a while, maybe 15 years ago, 15 years ago. Issaquah Middle School is right next to it, right across the street. And then they have a variety of elementary schools. Some people will go to Pine Lake Middle School, which is up on the plateau. So it kind of depends, but Issaquah High School is like your staple there. Okay, so let's hop into some neighborhoods now. So along with the shopping, we got 2 more things to share on shopping. So like I said, Old Town Issaquah's got some stuff. And then Northwest Gilman Boulevard, this road right here that goes from Front Street to connects kind of the freeway over here, that is like, I would say, your main drag for commercial shopping center. So it's got a few of them, like Safeway and QFC, tons of restaurants, lots and lots of stuff. Trader Joe's, it looks like I showed you there. They got the big Target, REI. So these are all shopping centers. So there's just like, you've literally got everything you need. So even people who live in like Maple Valley, or if you're in Sammamish, for example, like you're coming to Issaquah for these shopping centers. They got everything you need. Sammamish is a great spot, but it's got some restaurants, but not huge shopping centers. So this is everything. REI, Bed Bath and Beyond. I'm probably missing some stuff, but it's basically got, like I said, everything you need. We have Costco. Costco's right here in Issaquah. That's the Costco wholesale. We have the Costco corporate headquarters too, which is these 3 massive buildings, thousands and thousands of employees that work in corporate in Costco. So there is actually good economy in Issaquah because they're one of the main drivers. So still good paying jobs in the actual city, even though most people probably do commute to Seattle or Bellevue. Home Depot has another parking lot. Fred Meyer right there as well. Value Village. So like I said, the shopping, it's got it all. Okay, so let's do our favorite neighborhoods here. So we're going to start with the Issaquah Highlands. So I already kind of touched on it when I was just going over, what they have to offer, but Issaquah Highlands is just an amazing spot. So like I said, it's got its own like shopping center. So if you're, you can go downtown Issaquah to get like more of the stuff like the Home Depot and stuff like that, the big stores, the Targets, but you definitely don't have to leave the Highlands to get here. I wanted to put it in the feature where you can actually see the terrain and stuff like that. So just real quick, before I get into the neighborhoods, show you guys Sammamish Park and all that stuff, show you the baseball fields there if we zoom in. Okay, so hopefully give you a little bit better sense. So like I said, Gilman Boulevard has all the shopping centers here. So there it is right there. Okay, so favorite neighborhood, one of the neighborhoods. We're gonna go to the Issaquah Highlands here. So here's the Highlands. There's all the houses. This goes up a massive hill. This whole Northeast Park Drive goes all the way up a huge hill. So these people up here, they actually have an awesome view of Lake Sammamish and even all the way to the city skyline. So really, really cool area. But like I was saying about it is that it has its own shopping center. So that's what's cool about it, is that you can do and just fun things to do in general. So it's got the movie theaters right in the Issaquah Highlands. So you don't really need to leave from the Issaquah Highlands if you're living there. It's got Dick's Sporting Goods. What's the other one here? Marshall's, I believe is. There we go. Marshalls and Home Goods, which are connected. The Grand Ridge Plaza is going to be your Safeway. A bunch of other stuff there. Starbucks. So it's got pretty much all you need. It's got a lot of good restaurants too. So Issaquah Highlands is a great spot. It can be pretty pricey. There's definitely a good variety of the housing there too. So they have a good chunk of condos and townhomes or like attached units like that. And those are going to be definitely a little bit better price points for you. But Issaquah Highlands is a pretty desired area because of the whole town center, like I said. And so the houses at the top of the hill, pretty darn expensive, for sure in the millions, definitely in the few millions for some of the ones with the views. But your starter house condo, you can get in there for, the 500,000 range. And then they're going to go way up from there. But Issaquah Highlands is a really great area. So we'll go ahead and hop in the car and show you some footage of the Issaquah Highlands now. next up on the neighborhoods is going to be, it's called South Cove and Sammamish Beach Club. So like I said, Lake Sammamish Park is right there. This whole neighborhood is going to be right here. So they have all the lakefront homes right here. These are pretty expensive. I mean, these lakefront homes on Lake Sammamish, whether you're here on the other side of Issaquah or Bellevue, all of them very expensive. I mean, if it's a really nice, some of these houses are 10,000 square feet. So, those ones are in the 10, 12, $15 million range. So very, very expensive. But I'm just talking about most of the neighborhoods. So if you're on the water, just totally changes the price point, as you'd imagine. If you're on Lake Sammamish, that makes a difference. But Sammamish Beach Club and South Cove is this whole area right here. And this is a great neighborhood. So at one point, these things were selling for quite a bit. Market's changed a little bit as of shooting this video. I was actually just doing an open house. We got one in here for 1.2 million. It's only 1,700 square feet. So it's one of the smaller houses in the area. That same house would have sold for probably 1.5 at the peak if it was listed like maybe March 2022. So we're going through a little bit of a market change right now. If you're watching this video years from now or something, then obviously, we need to hop on a call and talk about what's going on now. I don't know what it's going to be like at that point, but we absolutely love the neighborhood. So yeah, prices, really nothing below $1 million. I mean, the 1.2 is probably the bottom of the market at this very moment. I mean, maybe $1 million for a little bit of a fixer upper. This one's updated. So call it low point would be $1 million. And then the high point would be, $2 million for a house that's not on the water. So just the regular neighborhood feel. The thing I love about this place is that they have a lot of really good parks and lake access. So Sammamish Beach Club and South Cove have their own private spots. So you can see here the lake homes, they have their docks and everything. But like right here is an actual spot where you have, which the rest of the people can come see or come use. So here's the main one of the other ones there too. So they have a couple of beach access points, which is great. And it's also just got a really, really, really good neighborhood feel. I did not grow up in this neighborhood, but I had a couple of friends that did. And so this was the spot to go. We used to go down there all the time because we can go to the beach for free and it's private. So like, you're not going to get tons and tons of people. It's not massive. It's probably 100 feet, of waterfront with a little bit of the sand, picnic table, stuff like that. We'll show you some footage here in a minute. But yeah, you can go to your neighbor's house. It's got sidewalks all over. So really good, just good neighborhood. I mean, like I said, there's sidewalks. The houses are decent size. The minimums, like I said, that 1,700 square foot up to 3,500, 4,000, the bigger houses, even not on the water. So it's just got a really good neighborhood feel. There's a good park right in the middle with like basketball courts and just a big whole grassy area. And then you got the beach access. So love this area. The houses were built, they're pretty old. They're probably in the 80s most of the time, 80s and 90s, some of them as far as year built, which this is also why I like it, because all the new construction that we have here, I love new construction. Of course, you're getting a new house and it's got newer finishes and stuff. But these 1980s, 1990s, this neighborhood specifically, these are decent sized lots. I mean, they all have pretty good backyards and usually they have a decent little front yard too. They're not right on the curb. They usually have a little driveway, nice front yard, nice backyard. So because of the year built and the way that the builder, built this community, it does have, just bigger lots in general. So it's a really good spot. So we'll go ahead and hop in the car now and show you around Sammamish Beach Club and South Cove. Let's get after it. All right, so Sammamish Beach Club and South Cove. Hope you enjoyed that tour. The next one we're going to do is called Talus. So just off 900 here by Tibbetts Park. So this one's great because, the location, all these locations are great. I mean, like I said, the Highlands is right off I-9, literally. This one's, South Cove and Sammamish Beach Club, which is right over here, also right off I-90. So you can get down to the, shopping centers, or if you're just like a stone's throw away from getting into Bellevue over here. Talus, still really close to the highway. You just take 900 about, quarter mile, super, super close. But Talus is cool. This is also on a big hill. So the ones at the top also have a pretty good view. You can't tell from this map feature, but Talus Road, the main road, you just go up a massive hill. So this area in the first part, this is why I like this property or this community, because up here we have lots of very, much more reasonable pricing. So they have some apartments. So if you're a renter, apartments are good. These are, if you're going to be in an apartment, this is probably where I'd be. Good spot, good community, well taken care of, well managed, all that stuff. But then over here, we've sold a couple on these two roads here, like a Sky Ridge Road, I think it's called. But these are all going to be townhomes. So they're more vertical townhomes. So a lot of them are either 2 or 3 stories, and a lot of them have a garage as well. Kind of depends on which one you're getting. But a lot of them have a garage on the bottom, which enters, and then there's going to be the main floor is a second floor, and you can usually enter the front door from the other side. And then there's also a third story, which is technically the second story, because the garage is just the bottom. There's usually not any living space down there. Anyway, long story short, those ones are probably like in the 500, probably 600,000, give or take right now for price point. So you're getting a, usually 12 to 1500 square feet townhome for, much cheaper than buying. Like I said, Issaquah is pretty expensive. So getting for anything under $1 million is not very likely, depending on where you're looking at. And then if you go down the street a little bit, this is still considered Talus. So at the very top of the hill here, here's the ones that are new construction. These are in the, at one point they were in the 2 million range. They're probably a little bit less than that now. But over here, we have a lot of other houses. This is a good neighborhood feel. Like I said, newer built. So South Cove Sammamish Beach Club are 80s and sometimes 90s built. Talus didn't even exist back then. It didn't even exist that long ago. Honestly, it was probably started developing the bottom with the townhouses and the first few of houses, like maybe 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And then they just kept going. Like these ones right here, you can see on the map, it's just dirt. So they're still building it out. These have no houses on them. Well, they're building them right now. But this whole area, these are probably, anywhere from 2000 to 2010 built. And these are really good spots too. So these are going to be over $1 million, but it's just a really good neighborhood. And I just love the location. So we'll go ahead and hop in the car and show you the Talus community right now. We're back. So I got my favorite one coming up, but I'm just going to show you guys Mirrormont real quick. So it's not inside this border, but that's not accurate. So Mirrormont's a pretty cool spot. If you're someone who wants to be a little bit outside of everything, but still be in Issaquah school districts and an Issaquah address, this is a good spot for you. Or if you like a lot of tree coverage, that's actually one of the things I don't like about Mirrormont is that it is so many trees. This will actually be probably a good view from the top. I bet you'll be able to see that you can probably hardly see the houses. I mean, there's so many trees. There we go. Yeah, exactly. So it is a cool neighborhood. So it goes up a pretty big hill. There's lots and lots of houses in here. And it just feels like a mountain, honestly. You are going up a hill, tons of trees. The houses are a little bit older as well, but you get a pretty good bang for your buck. It's a little bit farther out. The one negative I have about Mirrormont is Issaquah Hobart Road gets pretty busy. So if you're coming from Mirrormont to get into I-90 over here, you got to go through this front street in Issaquah Hobart Road, and it gets backed up because anyone coming, it also connects to Highway 18. So people use this road to get to I-90 anywhere from like Maple Valley down south here. So just a lot of people using that road. 900 also gets pretty busy too. Anyway, so I just want to touch on that one real quick, but now I'm going to go to my favorite. Not that I've actually lived in the neighborhood myself, but I just think it's so cool. This is Old Town. There's Squawk Mountain. Squawk Mountain's a good one too, by the way. But Old Town's super cool. So there's the high school. So Old Town's right next to the high school. Sorry, I took a second to find it. So you see there before I zoomed in, it said Old Town right here. So Old Town Issaquah. Oh, that's a view of Poo Poo Point. Poo Poo Point's pretty awesome. I should have mentioned that in the attractions actually. Poo Poo Point is a super cool hiking trail. It's a very easy trail. It's probably about 2 miles. So pretty easy to actually do. It gets pretty steep towards the end, but the cool part, the attraction to it is that this is where the hang gliders actually take off on. So if you go the right time of day, you actually get to sit at the top. If I click on it, maybe they'll have, here we go. Here's the takeoff landing area. So they have a little turf there. So you can be sitting on the side, checking out the awesome view. And then all of a sudden someone's running up right where that lady's sitting. They'll just jump and now they're taking off on the hang glider. So Poo Poo Point is an awesome hike and they have, there we go. There's some cool pictures. Look at that. So cool. Awesome view too. So Poo Poo Point's a really good one. All right, so my last neighborhood, this is my favorite neighborhood. I just think it's so cool. So this one is going to be Old Town Issaquah. So let's go down, zoom in. It's next to the high school. So let's get up here, right there. Okay, so you can see right there, it says Old Town Issaquah. Okay, oops, Old Town. So Issaquah High School, Issaquah Middle School right here. So it's just this little, so it's really, I would call it from Memorial, this baseball field Memorial, all the way over here. It's just this area right here. This is what I consider Old Town, the actual neighborhood. So it's just got super cute houses. So it's got really small small, like old school houses that are like, 1,000 square feet, 3-bed, 1-bath. So it's not a good fit for everyone. I understand. Like, I actually wouldn't buy one right here, right now, because I have now, the family and kids, and it wouldn't be big enough. They have bigger houses too, but I just think it's such a cool feel. So if we zoom in here, maybe we can see a little bit more. But the other thing I love about it is the investment opportunity. So Old Town is one of the spots that's actually zoned for duplex. About half this is zoned for duplexes, and some of them are split use as well. So you can have like some commercial at the bottom and then apartments up top. So there is some developing going on. Can capture one of those old houses. I just think it's so cool. So this is Old Town right off Sunset here. So this is the main drive that gets you to Front Street, and we have some commercial. So it's a kind of a mixed use area, but like I said, just really cute houses. Can't see a lot from the map feature, obviously, but the key here is that it's got the old time feel. That's why I like it. That's why I think it's so cool. It's got good investment opportunities because of the zoning. So it's one of those areas that you could tear down one of the old houses and build something new. I think last time I checked, I looked into one of these things. It was, you could build up to 35 feet. So the last one of the builders was doing like 4 units or so, and they were building up quite a ways. So good investment opportunities. You can also get one that's, if it's on a decent sized lot, you could make a duplex out of it, or a mother-in-law. So I do love that part of it too. But the other thing is just the location. If you're going to Issaquah High School, obviously it's right there, which is great, but you're right on the front. You're basically next to Front Street here, which has all those awesome restaurants and the old town feel. So if you're just someone who likes the old town feel, both with housing and with like what you're located around, that's definitely the spot for you, because Front Street's got all that historic stuff like I talked about when I was talking about the attractions. So that's Old Town Issaquah. We'll go ahead and drive you through that right now and take a look. All right, guys. So that is the map video for Issaquah. I had one more thing I wanted to add. If you guys are all still hanging around, I wanted to show you, since this is, we're real estate people, we want to show you the market, what's going on here. So market's changed a little bit, but this just gives you an idea. So I just pulled up, this is the MLS statistics. So this is the real stuff. I just pulled up the last 2 years of median sales price. You can get an idea. So you can see that it's just below 1.5 million. This is just residential though. So let me actually click condo too. That'll be a better representation. So we'll do the last 2 years, median, King County, Issaquah. This is just the city of Issaquah. So this is a better representation because there is cheaper versions, with condos and townhomes. So it's just under 1.2 million. You can see we're at a peak there of about 1.36 or something, maybe, give or take. So just wanted to give you a quick 30-second blog about, what the prices are doing. So if you were in Issaquah, getting below $1 million would be below the median right now. So for a single family house, it's probably there's some for sure, but not a lot of houses below $1 million. You can get townhomes in that lower range, 600,000 to 800,000, depending on what it looks like. That's kind of the real estate market part. So anyway, thank you guys for coming and watching the video. Again, if you guys have any questions or you're thinking about making a move to King County or Issaquah, 1 year, 1 day away, doesn't matter. We got links down there below to either schedule a call directly with me or my teammate and brother, Derek, or text us. We have a Zoom link as well, so we can hop on a Zoom call to kind of do what we're doing here and look at different areas before you plan the trip out here to move. We can make sure to give you a good fit. I was born and raised in Issaquah and Sammamish area. Me and Derek we're brothers. Now live in Maple Valley, which is another another market down low that we do some videos on. Derek lives in North Bend and Snoqualmie area. So the whole greater east side is what we call it. That is definitely our marketplace. We know it front and back because we were born and raised here and now lived in a few different areas. I've also lived in Renton for my first house that I bought. So we definitely can help you navigate, what's the right fit for you, because we know so much about each different area and the pros and cons of each spot. So encourage you, if you're thinking about moving, reach out, but also check out the rest of the videos. We have a couple of videos on each city that we like to serve. So map videos, vlog videos, all that kind of stuff for each location. So if you're, looking at Issaquah, you should probably also check out Bellevue, Sammamish, or if you want a better price point, Maple Valley, Snoqualmie. Check them out. Check out the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and we hope to connect soon.